This video was made possible by Good Better Best Tuition Services. Please subscribe to this channel for the latest videos. Today we are going to be discussing the division of decimals. Let's start with division by 10 and multiples of 10. You will remember that when we discussed multiplication by 10, we actually had to move that decimal point one place to the right as the number became bigger. The converse is true of division. When we divide by 10, the number becomes smaller, so we have to move that decimal point one place to the left. Let's look at 45.2 divided by 10. When we divide by 10, we need to move this decimal point one place to the left. That's going to give us an answer of 4.52. Okay, let's do another one. Example 2, 36,994.569 divided by 10. Again, we need to move this decimal point one place to the left, and that will give us 3,699.4569. But what happens if I say 64,8 divided by 20? We now need to split that 20 up into 10 times 2. So what we will now do is say 64.8 divided by 10. And once we have that answer, we will further divide by 2. Let's do that. 64.8 divided by 10 is 6.48. What do we need to do now? We need to divide by 2. So let's continue. So how do we divide? We remove the decimal point and we work out 648 divided by 2 and we get 324. But we need to take into consideration that there are 2 places after the decimal point here, which means that there must be 2 places after the decimal point in our answer. Now what happens when we need to divide by powers of 10, such as 100, 1,000 and 10,000? Let's have a look. Or when we divide by 100, we need to move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So let's look at this number 36,224.469 divided by 100. We know that when we divide by 100, we need to move the decimal point to the left. So we need to move this decimal point from the 4 to the first 2. That gives us 362.24469. Now let's divide by 1,000. Now we need to move this decimal point 3 places to the left. 1, 2, 3. So that's where our decimal point will be located with a 0 in front of it, giving us 0.68947. Now let's look at dividing a decimal by a decimal. So let's look at this example, 139.02 divided by 2.1. The first step that we need to take is we need to make sure that our divisor is a whole number. This is our divisor. How do we turn that into a whole number? We multiply by 10. But what we do to the one, we also need to do to the other. So we need to multiply this by 10 as well. This will give us 1,390.2 divided by 21. What we do now is we divide as we would normally do. So we know that 21 won't divide into 13, but it will divide into 139. Let's work that out. 21 divides into 139 6 times, and 6 times 21 is 126. What do we do now? We subtract. And What do we do with that 0? We bring it down. Now we need to divide 21 into 130, which will give us 6 again. And 6 times 21 is 126. 130 minus 126 is 4. And so that gives us 4, and we carry down the 2. Now 21 divides into 42 twice, and that will give us a remainder of 0. So where does our decimal point go? Remember, we've lined everything up, and so our decimal point needs to be inserted there, giving us an answer of 66.2. Let's do one more example. 36.4925 divided by 0.25. What do we need to do? We need to make sure that our divisor is a whole number. What does this mean? This is our divisor. We need to make sure that this is a whole number, so we need to multiply by 100. What we do to the divisor, we must also do to the dividend, and so we also need to multiply by 100. So 25 doesn't divide into 3, but it does divide into 36. It divides into 36 one time, and we've got to multiply back, and now subtract and carry down. Now we have to subtract and bring down the 4. Now 25 divides into 114 4 times. When we multiply back, 4 times 25 is 100, and we need to subtract again. That will give us 14, and we need to bring down the 9. 25 divides into 125 5 times, and again we need to subtract and bring down the 2. 25 divides into 242 9 times. 9 times 25 is 225, and when we subtract, we've got 17, and we need to bring down the 5. And then lastly, we know that 25 divides into 175 7 times. And when we subtract, we are left with 0. It seems I've run out of space there at the bottom, hey? This gives us an answer of 145.97. Thank you for watching with us, and then if you need help with maths, physics, accounting, English, Afrikaans, we can help. We offer extra classes for grade 1 to 12. Please feel free to contact me on the number on the screen for more information.